One thing I knew when I went to New York that I did not want was a husband. Because to me, that just meant you had to give up all of those things and, you know, become a homemaker, which I did not want to be. And so I was not looking for love. I was not looking for romance. I was avoiding it like crazy, and I was plenty mad when I saw John Cassavetes too, because he was the best looking man I'd ever seen in my life. And I thought, oh my God. I got myself all this way to New York, and then he just walks in. I didn't even invite him.
Det var här de bodde, på toppen av en av Hollywoods kullar. Och det var också i just det här huset de spelade in många av sina filmer. Gena Rowlands och John Cassavetes. Deras kärlekshistoria är unik. Och tillsammans så försökte de i sina filmer att undersöka vad kärleken är. Men det var inga glassiga Hollywood-produktioner de gjorde. Nej, tvärtom. Det var lågbudgetfilmer som handlade om verkliga människors liv. Och ibland agerade de tillsammans framför kameran.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Fine.
It's really you.
Really is.
The big star pays the little actor a visit. You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about my life. I was thinking about the opening. I want to get some sleep.
Do you love me?
I'm going to close this door.
What am I asking? What am I asking? Come on, take a chance. Listen, look, let's take this plate. Let's dump it upside down and see if we can't find something human in it. I mean, there has to be more when two people have cared for each other for a long time. Besides agony. Are you with me? I'm not bitter at you.
How did you meet?
I was in school and at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and John had gone there a few years before, and he came by to see a performance of Dangerous Corners, and he came backstage. That was that.
And 4 months later you were married?
Mm.
So that was really love at first sight?
It really was, yes.
John Cassavetes kunde som ingen annan skildra kvinnors känsloliv. Och ingen kunde gestalta det så bra som Gena Rowlands. Först i En kvinna under påverkan 1974 och senare i Gloria och i premiärkvällen.
When you're in this house you really see what an influence your professional career has had on you. Can it be difficult to draw a line between this and your private self?
We just wanted to do this thing. We wanted a certain way of life. We wanted to get up and really do what we wanted to do that day. We didn't want to go do something that everyone said we should do. And believe me, everyone was saying we were doing the wrong thing all of the time. But it was terribly satisfying. And I think of the kids now, too. They were always running, you know, every time they stepped out of their bedroom, they stepped or tripped over a cable or bumped into a camera or something, so that they were very easy with it. It didn't seem like some kind of exotic thing that your parents went to the studio and they didn't feel shut out of it. And I think they were happy with it too.
Was it hard to do these films that were so different from the ordinary Hollywood movie?
Fairly impossible, yes.
So how did you do?
Well, we had the advantage that both of us were actors, and we realized right from the beginning. I mean, when we suggested doing middle of the night and had the script and showed it to the people with money, the studios and stuff, and they said, "Who wants to see a movie about a crazy middle-aged dame? You know, what are you talking about?" I mean, they were absolutely flabbergasted that you would think that they would want to put their money in that.
Hey, right.
I was trying to be nice.
Wacko!
I like your friends.
I know it.
I'm a warm person.
I know that.
I'm not one of those stiffs that you like with their noses up in the air. And boom, boom, with their noses up in the air. Awfully nice. Thank you. I'm not going to treat those guys. I want them to feel... I love those guys. I love them. I love anybody who brings in a house, Nick.
I know that.
Want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel... They just sit there like a bunch of... I want to...
What the hell are you talking about? You didn't do anything wrong. It was just the way he was looking.
Sit down, Mabel. Sit down.
Billy was looking at you this way. He don't know you don't do any harm.
So we thought, well, we'll just do it ourselves. When, I mean, we were not paying anybody $20 million or taking $20 million, nor had we ever, or have I ever seen $20 million in a pile. But we shot in our home, we shot with friends that we thought were talented. Everybody did everything. It was thrilling, to tell you the truth. The house was packed with people that you love and like to work with all the time, and you know, every day somebody else would be cooking, and you know, someone would be, it was a wonderful, exciting kind of time. God, no, I'm so lucky. I can't believe that I was able to luck out and have it work. I mean, to have it work out, that our marriage worked out, and that the children turned out to be happy, and that we got to put our mothers in our movies, and that they were wonderful, and they were terrific, and stole the scene from us, and those are good times we're talking about.
Grandma, where are you?
Grandma, where are you?
Grandma, where are you? Grandma,
Something wrong?
Grandma in bed.
No, I'm going to make the coffee.
In bed.
No, you said you
Come
wanted,
on.
but I'm going to make some now.
Everybody in bed.
I
Come
just
on.
don't think I can.
Come on, Grandma, in bed.
Well,
Everybody in bed.
I'll just sit in it. No, it'll
Come
be
on.
fine.
Here comes Grandma. Here comes Grandma.
What are you doing?
Here's Grandma.
Hi.
All right.
Hi, sweetheart. How are all of you? I'm glad to see you. It's a nice family.
Well, the American point of view, more or less, has always been that movies are for entertainment, and that people go to work and they have problems and they have hard days and they don't want to go through anything else when they go to a movie. That's a legitimate point of view. It's a point of view. It's just that John and I thought that there didn't have to be just one point of view, you know. They didn't have to just be entertainment. There could be, for some of us, it was more satisfying to do the kind of pictures that we did, that tried to examine life, you know, try to figure out a little tiny bit of it, perhaps, and love, the loss of love, or the gaining of love, or what you give up for what. Those are subjects that interested us. It always was strange to me that Europeans could accept that, because Europeans have been through so much more than we have. They went through the war, and they went through really hard times.
A woman under the influence, you portray a woman who is going crazy. It affected people in such a strong way. Do you understand why?
I know for me too. It took me several months to get that out of my mind.
How did you create this portrait? Do you remember?
The same way that you know, it's at least my theory that all of us have the same thing within us in some proportion. There's nothing we can't understand about each other. if we choose to. It's just a question of letting that part expand over the other qualities, let it get out of proportion, which is what people do. And there's nobody that won't recognize that they've done part of it at some time.
I think every mother with a bunch of small kids can recognize the feeling that you're going crazy because it's just too much.
And any woman who has been in love with someone, and even the very modern young feminists who don't particularly like the idea of this. But the fact that Mabel, she had absolutely no identity for, I wish I could think of a more interesting word, but she saw herself only through the eyes of her husband, only. And this was an extreme case. But everyone who's been in love has, at certain times, done that, been victim to it, been, you know, every man or woman. And I thought that was very interesting.
I don't mind you being a lunatic. Not lunatic.
I didn't do anything wrong.
The manuscript that was your husband's, did you discuss it a lot between the two of you?
No, not really. It's strange because John would write the screenplay, and for example, Woman Under the Influence, I don't think we discussed at all. And then...
How could he know so much about women?
No idea.
But he did.
I have no idea. I have tried to think that his mother was a very complicated, talented, interesting woman. I can see that growing up with her would give him a lot of insight. But he just did. He just did understand women, and he liked women. He liked women very much. And he felt that his own personal feeling was that he didn't know how any woman could not be crazy in this society. The way society is set up is specifically to drive women crazy, in his point of view.
How true!
Yes, and so he expressed that quite a lot. But where he got the depth of his understanding, I don't know.
So you didn't help him in this? I thought that you had taught him.
I was the beneficiary of his very great talent.
Except I made you guys. I made you and you and you. Oh, my head. What a headache. Woo! Help! Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, for all these struggling mothers today who are trying, you know, to do everything at the same time, and you should know that in Sweden, you never have a nanny, or the women do everything themselves. They take care of the kids and they take care of the job. Do you have any advice?
Well, I think that women, every place that I've been, we all seem to have the curse of thinking that we have to be perfect. Men don't seem to think that. They don't worry about it if they're not perfect. It seems quite normal. And as John said one time too, he said, men don't teach women this. Their mothers teach them that. He said, men don't expect women to be perfect. It's women who give themselves migraine headaches because they can't be both at the school, the kindergarten, luncheon, and doing something. And John did not in any way expect a woman to conform to, he didn't expect anyone to conform to anything that they didn't wish to do. He saw no reason for it. And that was very unusual thinking on a man's part when we were growing up too.
Yeah.
But
especially with his Greek background,
yes.
I think he was a very modern man.
Very.
Yeah. So what happened when you had your first child?
My first child was Nick, and I had him, and I fell in love. And so then 5 years later we had Alexandra, and then 5 years later we had Zoe. And nothing happened. I just took off the dime, and they just kind of blended into the whole stream of it.
But when you did Woman Under the Influence, I think it was when you just had your third child, was it?
No, that would just be, yes, that would be, Zoe was born in 70, so yes.
I mean, 3 kids and being involved in a shooting that took place partly in this house.
Oh, I'm not saying it wasn't complicated. I'm not saying it wasn't hard. It was very hard. At times it was enough to drive you to ultimate madness. There's just so many hours in a day and so many balls you can keep in the air, and yes.
And kids that are coming.
Sure. It wasn't easy, it was just great.
Did you have help with the children?
Always.
You had nannies?
I am a firm believer, and for every baby there should be, I mean, if you have 5 children, you should have 5 nannies. But our babies, were 6 years between the first and second, 5 years between it. Each one was in school by the time the next one was born. This is Zoe, our youngest daughter.
Gorgeous.
This is Zan and Rick, our second daughter. This is my mom. That's Nick and me. And that's my granddaughter, Veronica, with her dad.
And at the beginning, your husband stayed home with the children.
He took care of Nick a couple of years, and while I did that, and in that time he wrote Faces. Well, about 4 of the films that we eventually did, or part of them, or he was never so happy.
But that's horrible. I mean, when I've been home with my kids, I didn't write any script.
It's very discouraging. Because if you John could not be stopped from working. He and we did have a lady too with us all the time, but he was not a person that had to be urged to work or he had to meet a deadline for work. He was obsessive the other way. He was literally a workaholic, but he loved the work so much that it worked out.
Was this ever a problem for you that he?
Yes, sure. But that particular time was a very happy time. I remember, because he said, "I can't believe this." He said, "You're supporting me, and I'm just sitting around doing nothing." I said, "What do you mean sitting around doing nothing? You've written about 8 screenplays and he did a novel of husbands, and he and it was a very nice time for Nick with him. I think that that's perhaps why they were so very close.
Frick Wilhelm, born 1877, died 1946. Longtime parliamentary leader of the German National Socialist. Oh, screw him. Next is friction. You know what that is, don't you, JJ?
Yeah, when you rub something together and it makes sparks.
That's right. You're getting too smart for this book already.
In Unhook the Stars, the woman reads the encyclopedia for this little boy. Is it true that you did it to your children?
I didn't think so when I first saw the script. I mean, again, you don't recognize yourself sometimes, but because I said to Nick, you know, son, are you sure he's not a little bit small to be reading all these encyclopedias too? He said, you don't remember that? He said, you did that all the time. Don't you remember? We'd open it and you'd put your hand in like that and then we'd start from there. I don't remember it.
No?
I did after he refreshed my memory. And all of the things that he had the little boy and Mildred doing were things that we had done as a child. But children remember those things. And I was rather touched that he did.
You live here in Hollywood, but you never seemed to me to be this typical Hollywood actress.
You know, when I was starting out, and this is in New York, I was able to see at rather close hand Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland, a lot of very talented people. That's just two of many. I didn't see any conspicuous happiness. And they had a lot of money and a lot of fame. And those two things were not doing it for a lot of people that I knew. And it struck me when I first got there. I was very struck by it because I thought they'd be all very happy and gay and different. But I thought, no. There's some kind of pressure working there that is not what I want. And I'm sure with all of them it was different, but fame and money are not going to be the things that make you happy.
Your husband said that love is not constant. When you live together with somebody, you live in a constant change between love and the loss of love. And the only difference is if you choose to leave or if you stay.
I don't know. I really don't know. I can't tell if they... I can never... It's always when my friends or someone fall in love and get married, you think, how did those two ever get together? And then when they get divorced, you say, how could they get divorced? So
why didn't you?
I didn't want to.
You never wanted to?
Yes. Once, twice a week I wanted to, but I never wanted to enough to want to. I wanted to kill him more often than I wanted to divorce him. It's such a private thing, love, and such a changing thing. And the fact that I think it's good to know that it's changing and to know that there are going to be times when you don't even want to speak to one another, but that's going to change too. And but I think really wanting the same kind of life, wanting the same thing is a very great basis for love.
John Cassavetes blev bara 59 år. Han dog 1989 efter 5 års sjukdom.
How do you survive such a loss?
I can't really even begin to answer that. I had him for a long time, the best years in a person's life, really, most creative years. And I thank God for it. But, you don't survive a loss like that. You just get through it.
Because I mean, you lived so intensely with each other in all respects, privately and in your work. So the loss must be so much bigger, I gather.
I don't know. I don't know how to compare losses with other people. Loss is loss. Thousands of things here. They're just kind of crammed together, but they all mean a lot to me. So I don't neaten up, probably. Actually, I have so many more I could fill even the rest of the house with them.
Do you ever do any parts today that mean as much to you as the parts that you did with John?
Oh, nothing will ever mean as much as those did. Nothing will come even close to those. But I still enjoy them.